So, as of late, I've been the API guy at my job. API stands for Application Programming Interface, which is a fancy way of saying you're given a gateway in your application so others can expand upon that and make applications for their own use case. In a previous video, I made and talked about a ticketing app that I made with the Ninja One API that made tickets so fast and so easy to put in, my ticket KPI was through the roof. Well, like a stubborn pimple, I found another problem I couldn't get rid of. It was an application that I support that had a feature only available through their API. So from that, I learned how to write to an API, but wondered if I can make my own API. So when I write an application one day that has a ton of users and they want a feature, I can tell them to just use the API. I've been on a Python kick lately, so when it comes to actually making the API, all lazy admins know that you have two options, especially in Python. You have Flask, which is my favorite and most used Python library to date, or Fast API. But in this case, I think based off the name, I know which one I'm going to pick. Also, it doesn't hurt that it builds the documentation site for you. I read the docs. Well, I tried to read the docs. Not even going to tell you a lie on that one. I ended up using the tutorial use because I'm a cowboy that can learn as he goes. Here's the actual code block that I used to get started. What was interesting about it was it looks just like Flask. You create an instance, an endpoint, and lastly a function that will fire off when you get there. After about 5 minutes, I was off into the races and had my first API built. But then I wondered to myself, as I always do and make my life harder, could I make this project more me? So I decided to write this. And isn't she pretty? Mwah! I wrote this to see if I could get an API hooked up with a database, and actually it was not that hard, and I actually did it, and I'm really hats off to myself for doing it. I'm really proud of that. I recycled the database from my other video with the Rugrats characters, and what's cool about this is if you send a GET request to this specified endpoint right here, you actually get a list of the characters in JSON. So you could do things like parse it, put it on a website, different things like that. But we're going to wrap the video up there, and I'm just going to say this out loud. I might need to find better things to do with my Saturdays.